Hello everyone and welcome to Joy As It Flies. My name's Cassidy and I deal with the sewing side of this channel. So if you were expecting another tutorial today, I'm very sorry, but you're not going to get it. Instead, today I'm doing basically a vlog where I show you my entire sewing process. So basically what goes on behind the scenes when I'm creating a brand new dress, so that's pattern, prototyping and sewing. And today I'm going to be, well not today, this is going to be over a long space of time, knowing me, I'm going to take a while doing this, but I am going to be making a dress inspired by Marilyn Monroe. So this is a very famous dress. It's actually not from a movie, it's just from a photo shoot she did with her husband Arthur Miller, I think it is. And yeah, so I'm not going to be making like the exact same dress because materials and things aren't going to be the exact same. Like, because I'm pretty sure in the dress, if you look, it's not just ruffles or anything that they've done for the bodice and the skirt. It looks like almost they've used, what is it? Oh, what's it called when, you know that fabric, it's not crepe, where it's already pleated. They do it. Anyway, I can't remember. Or maybe they've done some sort of fancy pleating. I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I would never be able to achieve that. Instead, I'm going to be doing an inspired one, keeping lots of things the same, like particularly the bodice. So yeah, it should be fun. And we'll see if I have a decent looking dress by the end of it. So just a little talk about what I'm going to be doing, starting off with, and what fabrics I'm going to be using. I've bought this blue and white polka dot cotton fabric, and then I've also got just plain white tulle for the petticoat underneath. I've also got some scrap white fabric, that's poly cotton. I just thought I just need to use scraps for like the piping and the bias tape and the straps and things. And then I've got some other white cotton for the lining. And then to make the pattern, I'm going to be draping it. I've not done much draping, and I'm self-taught through several YouTube videos, so if I do something weird and wacky or wrong, tell me in the comments, you know, I'll learn from you if you know how to do it properly. But yeah, I'm going to try draping it, and then yeah, we'll go on from there, making lots of mock-ups and things till I'm happy with it. So that's my plan of action, so I might as well start now. So to start off with, I'm just going to mark all of my style lines on my dummy with my tape, and I've also got lots of pictures right in front of me so I don't go wrong. Okay, so that's the bodice all done. I've also done, hold on, the back as well, as you can see. And now is just time to do the actual draping with the fabric. Whenever I do this, I always feel like Captain Von Trapp. The draping process was kind of just taking my time and making sure I was happy with everything, making sure everything was nice and flat, and clipping the corners of the fabric just to ease it and make sure everything was smooth. And then I just perfected those lines I'd made and repeated that with all of the pieces. Okay, so it's time for a little update. As you can see, I've transferred all of my pieces onto paper, and a few extra things I did was at the back you can see these very long pieces are the bust piece and the top back piece, which are going to be gathered. They look a bit strange, I'll admit. At the time I was certain I knew what I was doing, but now I can't really remember what I did, but hopefully it'll work. We'll find out. And then I also did these two extra lining pieces, and so I just kept with what I had draped on the dummy, and then for the bust piece I just added the dart for the shape and everything. So now I'm going to make the prototype and we'll see if it works. Okay, so I haven't completely finished the mock-up because I haven't done the lining and stuff, but as you can see I've done the front, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to pick up, hold on, and the back, and a few issues that need to be changed, just very minute ones, but the ruffles I'm going to increase the ratio. I did it 2 times when I cut it out. I think I'm going to do 2.5 times because it's ruffles, but it's not quite so condensed that you get the even lines like she's got. So that's the one thing. Now the other thing is these panels here. When you look at pictures of Marilyn in it, there's absolutely no seams, no darts, nothing. And when I draped it, that's what I did, and it seemed alright with the draping. I mean, I did have concerns when I was doing it, thinking, how am I going to get the shaping? But I ignored the little voice inside my head and just carried on. But now I've done it, you can see I've had to add darts because when I take them out, look, that happens. Okay, now I've fixed the few issues with the top of the dress and I'm happy with the prototype, so nothing else has to be done. And I'm not going to be doing some fancy prototyping for the skirt because, as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm not going to be doing an exact recreation of Marilyn's dress. Instead I'm going to be doing something inspired. So instead of trying to achieve the fancy whatever it is on the skirt, I'm just going to be doing a tiered gathered skirt. So I'm still going to keep the amount of tiers, the piping on the skirt all the same. I'm still going to do the petticoat underneath and things. Obviously it won't look like Marilyn's. So I'm just going to cut that straight off the fabric because it's just rectangles and we should be good. So I took all of my things inside because there's so much floor space in the house than there is in this craft shed. So I took everything inside, laid my fabric out and started cutting everything out, which there were quite a few pieces of because I had all of the bodice pieces, then 6 rectangles for the skirt, and then I had my circle skirts for the petticoat and the lining, and then lots of things for, say, the ruffles on the lining and petticoat, the bias tape strips and the straps and things like that. I finally cut out everything and it took me far too long, but here we are. And I've ironed it, made sure everything was nice and neat, and I also cut out several strips of just plain white for the straps, bias tape and the piping. So now I can finally get to sewing it. Okay, so progress has been made. I've done all of the separate pieces for the bodice on the outside, so the darts and the ruffles. I've done the lining, added those pieces together, and now I'm just going to add the piping to the bodice, which I just made piping myself. So yeah, time to insert that. So that's the bodice all sewn together apart from the right side for the zip, and then I've also done the lining, and I'm going to keep them separate for now until I sew the zip on. So it's time for the stressful part and to do the skirt. Yay! So I made the skirt with just 3 tiers of gathered fabric, and I also added the piping in between each tier for it, and it turned out really nicely and I was really happy with it. So then I moved on to the petticoat, which was just gathering a circle skirt of tulle. Nice and simple. One thing I did keep the same as Marilyn's though was I edged each hem and the bottom and all things like that with bias tape, just to neaten it up because I thought that looked really pretty. And then I made the lining, which once again was a nice and simple job. What? Do you not know what's going on? Who's a pretty girl? Pinky, say hello. Yeah, good girl. Okay, so I finished sewing each individual part of the dress and all that's left to do is to piece them together. But that also means I'm going to have to do the invisible zip now. This is the lining just all together, so the skirt and the bodice. And actually, I'd wear a dress just like that. It's really pretty. Okay, ignore the fact that it looks really messy. I made the mistake and folded up the skirt last night, so it's very crinkly. But on the bodice, I don't know how, but at some point you can see it's gaping here. The ruffles have come undone. All the stitching for the gathering came undone on that side. This always happens whenever I do gathers. At some point, it always comes undone, no matter how much I knot it or whatever. So we may have to redo them. Ah! And the zip's all done. That went a lot more smoothly than I expected. So now what I've got to do is attach the petticoat to the lining and then attach that whole thing to the dress. Oh, wait. Don't. Oh. Okay, so all that nearly went in my coffee. Let's move you. That would be typical. I make the whole dress and then dip it in coffee. Right, so the zip's all done and it's a bit hard to show you because it's all on my lap. And then I can do the final 2 steps, which is make the straps and, oh wait no, final 3 steps. I forgot. I haven't hemmed the outer dress. Luckily I hemmed the lining, otherwise that would be 2 hems I had to do. No, so I've got 3 then steps to do. I've got the straps, the bias tape and the hem. And that's it. Oh my gosh, my voice cracked there. So yeah, that's the video all done, I guess. And before I show you the big reveal, the grand reveal of the dress, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Thank you for continuing this far into an extremely long video of my sewing process. I hope it's maybe inspired you to make something either similar or just get going with the sewing, you know. So anyway, that's all. I think I've repeated myself just there. Oh, one thing I must mention, I know you hear it all of the time, but if you could perhaps give this video a like, subscribe, you know, comment any things that you want to tell me that perhaps will help me for my sewing process, help me learn, because I'm still learning, or just to say whether you thought it was trash or not, the final dress. Yeah, and subscribing, you know, we like that around here. And yeah, right, I think it's time for the big reveal. So 3, 2, 1.